Book 29, Penalty of Hunting While on Pilgrimage. Narrated Abdullah bin Abu Qatada. My father set out, for Mecca, in the year of Al-Hudaybiyah, and his companions assumed Ihram, but he did not. At that time the Prophet was informed that an enemy wanted to attack him, so the Prophet proceeded onwards. While my father was among his companions, some of them laughed among themselves. My father said, I looked up and saw an onager. I attacked, stabbed and caught it. I then sought my companions' help but they refused to help me. Later, we all ate its meat. We were afraid that we might be left behind, separated, from the Prophet, so I went in search of the Prophet and made my horse to run at a galloping speed at times and let it go slow at an ordinary speed at other times till I met a man from the tribe of Bani Ghaffar at midnight. I asked him, Where did you leave the Prophet? He replied, I left him at Tahan and he had the intention of having the midday rest at Hajj secure. I followed the trace and joined the Prophet and said, O Allah's Apostle! Your people, companions, send you their compliments, and ask for Allah's blessings upon you. They are afraid lest they may be left behind, so please wait for them. I added, O Allah's Apostle! I hunted an onager and some of its meat is with me. The Prophet told the people to eat it though all of them were in the state of Ihram. Narrated Abdullah bin Abu Qatada, that his father said we proceeded with the Prophet in the year of Al-Hudaybiyah and his companions assumed Ihram but I did not. We were informed that some enemies were at Ghaku and so we went on towards them. My companions saw an onager and some of them started laughing among themselves. I looked and saw it. I chased it with my horse and stabbed and caught it. I wanted some help from my companions but they refused. I slaughtered it all alone. We all ate from it, that is its meat. Then I followed Allah's Apostle lest we should be left behind. At times I urged my horse to run at a galloping speed and at other times at an ordinary slow speed. On the way I met a man from the tribe of Bani Ghaffar at midnight. I asked him where he had left Allah's Apostle. The man replied that he had left the Prophet at a place called Tahan and he had the intention of having the midday rest at Hajj secure. So, I followed Allah's Apostle till I reached him and said, O Allah's Apostle! I have been sent by my companions who send you their greetings and compliments and ask for Allah's mercy and blessings upon you. They were afraid lest the enemy might intervene between you and them, so, please wait for them. So he did. Then I said, O Allah's Apostle! We have hunted an onager and have some of it, that is its meat, left over. Allah's Apostle told his companions to eat the meat although all of them were in a state of Ihram. Narrated Abu Qatada, we were in the company of the Prophet at a place called Al-Qaha, which is at a distance of 3 stages of journey from Medina. Abu Qatada narrated through another group of narrators, we were in the company of the Prophet at a place called Al-Qaha and some of us had assumed Ihram while the others had not. I noticed that some of my companions were watching something, so I looked up and saw an onager. I rode my horse and took the spear and whip, but my whip fell down, and I asked them to pick it up for me, but they said, We will not help you by any means as we are in a state of Ihram. So, I picked up the whip myself and attacked the onager from behind a hillock and slaughtered it and brought it to my companions. Some of them said, Eat it. While some others said, Do not eat it. So, I went to the Prophet who was ahead of us and asked him about it. He replied, Eat it as it is halal, that is it is legal to eat it. Narrated Abdullah bin Abu Qatada, that his father had told him that Allah's Apostle set out for Hajj and so did his companions. He sent a batch of his companions by another route and Abu Qatada was one of them. The Prophet said to them, Proceed along the seashore till we meet all together. So, they took the route of the seashore, and when they started all of them assumed Ihram except Abu Qatada. While they were proceeding on, his companions saw a group of onagers. Abu Qatada chased the onagers and attacked and wounded a she-onager. They got down and ate some of its meat and said to each other, How do we eat the meat of the game while we are in a state of Ihram? So, they, carried the rest of the she-onager's meat, and when they met Allah's Apostle they asked, saying, O Allah's Apostle! We assumed Ihram with the exception of Abu Qatada, and we saw a group of onagers. Abu Qatada attacked them and wounded a she-onager from them. Then we got down and ate from its meat. Later, we said to each other, how do we eat the meat of the game, and we are in a state of Ihram? So, we carried the rest of its meat. The Prophet asked, did any one of you order Abu Qatada to attack it or point at it? They replied in the negative. He said, then eat what is left of its meat. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas, from As-Sabah bin Jathama al-Thi, that the latter presented an onager to Allah's Apostle while he was at Al-Abwa or at Wadn, and he refused it. On noticing the signs of some unpleasant feeling of disappointment on his, As-Sab's, face, the Prophet said to him, I have only returned it because I am Murim. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr, Allah's Apostle said, it is not sinful of a Murim to kill 5 kinds of animals. One of the wives of the Prophet narrated, the Prophet said, a Murim can kill 5 kinds of animals. Narrated Hafsa, Allah's Apostle said, it is not sinful of a Murim to kill 5 kinds of animals, namely, the crow, the kite, the mouse, the scorpion and the rabid dog. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Apostle said, 5 kinds of animals are harmful and could be killed in the haram, sanctuary. These are, the crow, the kite, the scorpion, the mouse and the rabid dog. Narrated Abdullah, while we were in the company of the Prophet in a cave at Mina, when Surat Al-Musalat were revealed and he recited it, and I heard it, directly, from his mouth, as soon as he recited its revelation. Suddenly a snake sprang at us and the Prophet said, ordered us, kill it. We ran to kill it, but it escaped quickly. The Prophet said, it has escaped your evil and you too have escaped its evil. Narrated Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, Allah's Apostle called the salamander a bad animal, but I did not hear him ordering it to be killed. Narrated Said bin Abu Said al-Makburi, Abu Shuraih, al-Adoi said that he had said to Amr bin Said when he was sending the troops to Mecca, to fight Abdullah bin Az-Zubair, O chief, allow me to tell you what Allah's Apostle said on the day following the conquest of Mecca. My ears heard that and my heart understood it thoroughly, and I saw with my own eyes the Prophet when he, after glorifying and praising Allah, started saying, Allah, not the people, made Mecca a sanctuary, so anybody who has belief in Allah and the last day should neither shed blood in it, nor should he cut down its trees. If anybody argues, that fighting in it is permissible on the basis that Allah's Apostle did fight in Mecca, say to him, Allah allowed his Apostle and did not allow you. Allah allowed me only for a few hours on that day of the conquest, and today its sanctity is valid as it was before. So, those who are present should inform those who are absent concerning this fact. Abu Shuraih was asked, what did Amr reply? He said, Amr said, O Abu Shuraih, I know better than you in this respect. Mecca does not give protection to a sinner, a murderer or a thief. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, Allah has made Mecca a sanctuary, so it was a sanctuary before me and will continue to be a sanctuary after me. It was made legal for me, that is, I was allowed to fight in it, for a few hours of a day. It is not allowed to uproot its shrubs or to cut its trees, or to chase, or disturb, its game, or to pick up its lucata, fallen things, except by a person who would announce that, what he was found, publicly. Al-Abbas said, O Allah's Apostle, except al-Udka, a kind of grass, for it is used, by our goldsmiths and for our graves. The Prophet then said, except al-Ika. Ikrimah said, do you know what chasing or disturbing the game means? It means driving it out of the shade to occupy its place. Narrated Ibn Abbas, their blacksmiths and for their domestic purposes. So, the Prophet has narrated Ibn Abbas, Allah's Apostle was cupped while he was in a state of Ihram. Narrated Ibn Bahina, the Prophet, while in the state of Ihram, was cupped at the middle of his head at Lihajaml. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet married Maimuna while he was in the state of Ihram, only the ceremonies of Marriage were held. Narrated Abdullah bin Amr, a person stood up and asked, O Allah's Apostle, what clothes may be worn in the state of Ihram? The Prophet replied, do not wear a shirt or trousers, or any headgear, for example a turban, or a hooded cloak, but if somebody has no shoes he can wear leather stockings provided they are cut short off the ankles, and also, do not wear anything perfumed with wars or saffron, and the muhrima, a woman in the state of Ihram, should not cover her face, or wear gloves. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a man was crushed to death by his she-camel and was brought to Allah's apostle who said, give him a bath and shroud him, but do not cover his head, and do not bring any perfume near to him, as he will be resurrected reciting Talbiyah. Narrated Abdullah bin Hunayn, Abdullah bin Al-Abbas and Al-Miswar bin Makrama differed at Al-Abwa. Ibn Abbas said that a muhrim could wash his head, while Al-Miswar maintained that he should not do so. Abdullah bin Abbas sent me to Abu Ayyub al-Ansari and I found him bathing between the two wooden posts of the well, and was screened with a sheet of cloth. I greeted him and he asked who I was. I replied, I am Abdullah bin Hunayn and I have been sent to you by Ibn Abbas to ask you how Allah's apostle used to wash his head while in the state of Ihram. Abu Ayyub al-Ansari caught hold of the sheet of cloth and lowered it till his head appeared before me, and then told somebody to pour water on his head. He poured water on his head, and he, Abu Ayyub, rubbed his head with his hands by bringing them from back to front and from front to back and said, I saw the Prophet doing like this. Narrated Ibn Abbas, I heard the Prophet delivering a sermon at Arafat saying, if a muhrim does not find slippers, he could wear cuffs, but he has to cut short the cuffs below the ankles, and if he does not find an izar, a waist sheet for wrapping the lower half of the body, he could wear trousers. Narrated Abdullah, Allah's apostle was asked what sort of clothes a muhrim should wear. He replied, he should not wear a shirt, turbans, trousers, a hooded cloak, or a dress perfumed with saffron or wars, and if slippers are not available he can wear cuffs but he should cut them so that they reach below the ankles. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet delivered a sermon at Arafat and said, whoever does not get an izar can wear trousers, and whoever cannot get a pair of shoes can wear cuffs. Narrated Al-Bara, the Prophet assumed Ihram for Umrah in the month of Dhul-Qa'dah but their pagan people of Mecca refused to admit him into Mecca till he agreed on the condition that he would not bring into Mecca any arms but sheathed. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet fixed Dhul Hulayfa as the Miqat, the place for assuming Ihram, for the people of Medina, and Quran al-Manatsil for the people of Najd, and Yalamlam for the people of Yemen. These mawaqit are for those people and also for those who come through these mawaqit, from places other than the above mentioned, with the intention of performing Hajj and Umrah. And those living inside these mawaqit can assume Ihram from the place where they start, even the people of Mecca can assume Ihram from Mecca. Narrated Anas bin Malik, Allah's apostle entered Mecca in the year of its conquest wearing an Arabian helmet on his head, and when the Prophet took it off, a person came and said, Ibn Qatl is holding the covering of the Kaaba, taking refuge in the Kaaba. The Prophet said, kill him. Narrated Yali, as you do in your Hajj. A man bit the hand of another man but in? Narrated Ibn Abbas, ? Narrated Ibn Abbas, while a man was standing with the Prophet at Arafat, he fell from his mount and his neck was crushed by it. The Prophet said, wash the deceased with water and sidr and shroud him in 2 pieces of cloth, and neither perfume him nor cover his head, for Allah will resurrect him on the day of resurrection and he will be reciting Talbiyah. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a man was in the company of the Prophet and his she-camel crushed his neck while he was in a state of Ihram and he died. Allah's apostle said, wash him with water and sidr and shroud him in his 2 garments, neither perfume him nor cover his head, for he will be resurrected on the day of resurrection, reciting Talbiyah. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a woman from the tribe of Juhayna came to the Prophet and said, my mother had vowed to perform Hajj but she died before performing it. May I perform Hajj on my mother's behalf? The Prophet replied, perform Hajj on her behalf. Had there been a debt on your mother, would you have paid it or not? So, pay Allah's debt as he has more right to be paid. Narrated Ibn Abbas, a woman from the tribe of Kutham came in the year of Hajjat al-Wada of the Prophet, and said, O Allah's apostle, my father has come under Allah's obligation of performing Hajj but he is a very old man and cannot sit properly on his mount. Will the obligation be fulfilled if I perform Hajj on his behalf? The Prophet replied in the affirmative. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas, Al-Fadl was riding behind the Prophet and a woman from the tribe of Kutham came up. Al-Fadl started looking at her and she looked at him. The Prophet turned Al-Fadl's face to the other side. She said, "My father has come under Allah's obligation of performing Hajj, but he is a very old man and cannot sit properly on his mount. Shall I perform Hajj on his behalf?" The Prophet replied in the affirmative. That happened during Hajjat al-Wada of the Prophet. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet sent me to Mina with the luggage from Jam, that is Al-Muzdalifah, at night. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas, I came riding on my she-ass and had just then attained the age of puberty. Allah's apostle was praying at Mina. I passed in front of a part of the first row and then dismounted from it, and the animal started grazing. I aligned with the people behind Allah's apostle. The sub-narrator added that happened in Mina during the Prophet's Hajjat al-Wada. Narrated Isma bin Yazid, while in the company of my parents, I was made to perform Hajj with Allah's apostle and I was a 7-year-old boy then. Fath al-Bari, p. 443, volume 4. Narrated Al-Ju'aid bin Abdurrahman, I heard Umar bin Abdul Aziz telling about Isma bin Yazid that he had performed Hajj, while carried with the belongings of the Prophet. Narrated Aisha, mother of the faithful believers, I said, O Allah's apostle, shouldn't we participate in holy battles and jihad along with you? He replied, the best and the most superior jihad, for women, is Hajj, which is accepted by Allah. Aisha added, ever since I heard that from Allah's apostle I have determined not to miss Hajj. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet said, a woman should not travel except with Ihram, her husband or a man with whom that woman cannot marry at all according to the Islamic jurisprudence, and no man may visit her except in the presence of Ihram. A man got up and said, O Allah's apostle, I intend to go to such and such an army and my wife wants to perform Hajj. The Prophet said to him, go along with her to Hajj. Narrated Ibn Abbas, when the Prophet returned after performing his Hajj, he asked Muhsin al-Ansari, what did forbid you to perform Hajj? She replied, father of so-and-so, that is her husband, had 2 camels and he performed Hajj on one of them, and the second is used for the irrigation of our land. The Prophet said to her, perform Umrah in a month of Ramadan, as it is equivalent to Hajj or Hajj with me, in reward. Narrated Qazaa, the slave of Zayd, Abu Said who participated in 12 Ghazawat with the Prophet said, I heard 4 things from Allah's apostle, or I narrate them from the Prophet, which won my admiration and appreciation. They are, 1. No lady should travel without her husband or without Ihram for a 2 days journey. 2. No fasting is permissible on 2 days of Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha. 3. No prayer may be offered after 2 prayers, after the Asr prayer till the sun set and after the morning prayer till the sun rises. 4. Not to travel for visiting, except for 3 mosques, Masjid al-Haram, in Mecca, my mosque, in Medina, and Masjid al-Aqsa, in Jerusalem. Narrated Anas, the Prophet saw an old man walking, supported by his 2 sons, and asked about him. The people informed him that he had vowed to go on foot to the Kaaba. He said, Allah is not in need of this old man's torturing himself, and ordered him to ride. Narrated Uqba bin Amir, my sister vowed to go on foot to the Kaaba, and she asked me to take the verdict of the Prophet about it. So, I did, and the Prophet said, she should walk and also should ride. Narrated Abu al-Khair from Uqba as above.